up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and this one's going to be a little bit different, but it has to do with the draft, so let's get into it. So we're going to be talking about a guy that opens up a lot of opportunities for the Lions in this draft, because the Lions, sitting at the third spot in the draft, have a very opportunistic draft pick. Yes, big word. I know. I thought of that one coming into this, and it sounded pretty good. But they do. They sit at number 3 in the current draft order, and it looks like that's probably where they're going to end up unless somehow the Redskins were able to pull off a miracle against the Cowboys, which would be awesome. I don't see that happening. So in that case, the Lions will end up as the 3rd pick in the draft. But there are still a lot of things that they could potentially do. Obviously, you can always trade up. They can try to get to the number 2 spot. Maybe if Chase Young goes into the draft. He says he plans not to, but I'm going to be honest. If he didn't, I would be crazy surprised. I don't know. I wouldn't get it. I don't think there's any way he stays in college, but he may. So if he does go in the draft, Lions could potentially trade up. Maybe they could stay where they are and just go get a really good, talented player at the 3rd pick. Maybe they could even trade back. And last season, that was something that a lot of people talked about. They didn't do it, but they were sitting at 8. This year, sitting at 3. There's a lot they can get in return if they decide to trade back, and there's still going to be a lot of talent on the board, even if they trade back, while getting a pick that's very similar to last season's, okay? When you look at this draft order, Lions sitting at number 3, all of the teams, well, many teams behind them are in desperate need of a quarterback, but the Lions are going to have a higher draft pick. So Lions have the opportunity to say, yeah, you know what, maybe we'll take him. Because I know there's always speculation. The Lions will always bring it out there. Bob Quinn will always put it out there that he's not opposed to drafting a quarterback, that people will be hyped like, oh, we might go get a quarterback, but we won't, just like last season. So, we might get him later, but not in the 1st round. But this is an opportunity for the Lions to potentially trade back and acquire more picks later. If you look at some of the teams behind us, like the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the Chargers, the Panthers, all of those teams would love to have a quarterback. I mean, I could see all of those teams winning one. A little bit less Jaguars, but the other 3, without a doubt, they want to get a quarterback. Now, Joe Burrow will most likely go number 1, which means that you'll be left with guys like Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts. You'll be left with other guys like Jake Fromm. So those will be your options. Like I said, Tua Tagovailoa, looked at as the 2nd best quarterback in the NFL, opens up opportunities for the Lions to trade back potentially. When you look at a team like the Dolphins, who sit at number 5, who obviously are going to be could be looking for a quarterback this offseason. Maybe they're not. Maybe they won't be, but they could. They have 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. That's a lot of ammunition that the Lions could try to pull back. Maybe they get a 2nd first-round pick to go along with their current first-round pick that they trade back with. Maybe that happens. Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe they're not so much interested in them. You look at the Chargers. Obviously, they want to replace him for Phillip Rivers at some point. He's getting a lot older. Carolina Panthers. They're pretty much moving on from Cam Newton, it seems like. So there's a lot of teams that are behind them that are looking to get a quarterback, and that opens the opportunity, the door for the Lions to trade back. And as we know, this is a pretty deep first-round class where the Lions have a lot of needs, and adding more picks is probably a really good way to go about it. Unless there's like a star power playmaker that you want out there, like a Derek Brown or a Chase Young or something along those lines that they have their eyes on, trading back would be no problem at all, because you're still going to get a talented player. I mean, you could potentially get an Isaiah Simmons late. You could go get there's just so many needs. They need linebackers, they need defensive line, they need offensive line, they need wide receiver. They need so many things. It won't really hurt to trade back, and then you can add more depth. You can get more players. So Tua Tagovailoa, hopefully he's healthy and he's good to go, because he would open a lot of opportunities for the Lions in this draft. Let me hear your thoughts, comments below on who the Lions could potentially trade back with, and who do you think they would take if they traded back. Thank you, Prep, for watching. Merry Christmas, and I'm out.